I'll just let you know where it's at.
All right.
It's Ja Rule. I'm already like halfway through.
What are you looking at, Jeff?
You know where it's at.
It's just that clip of like Trump being like a little double. Remember the fucking perfect phone call?
No.
God, you're too out of the loop, man.
Thank God. Fucking thank the fuck Christ.
God doesn't remember the perfect phone call.
Yeah, I'm glad I don't, Jeff. I'm glad I don't remember it.
It was the perfect phone call.
God, no. I'm not there yet, Jeff. I'm not going back to listen to the greatest hits.
I think I missed it. He's not on the beach. He's like on the beach, and now they're like at a Drew Hill concert. It's got to be in the comments. I bet if I search the comments, somebody's.
I think this might be like a deep fake. I think you might have.
Nah, this is real, dude. Unless they might.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna watch it.
They didn't Mandela affect me. This happened. I pulled up the picture from it. Yeah, I just watched the whole thing.
I'm about to go watch it. I'm about to watch it in regular slow speed.
All right.
Girl, it's the Big Show.
The
Big Show sang his own music.
Yeah, I can believe it.
He didn't do that.
I can believe it, Jeff. Not that crazy. He's got a cool voice. I'm sure he can. I'm sure he can hum a few bars.
I just made that up. Spreading lies. Fake
well, who sung it then? Huh?
Jim Johnston.
No way.
Wow, some of these pictures are crazy. From the Frozen place, in Houston. Look at it, fan. I cannot believe that those windmills did all of this damage.
Shut up, Jeff.
That's so wild, dude. They be on there major bullshit.
The windmills froze Texas. The windmills froze Texas. I can't
they stopped the wind.
Song uncut.
Look, I'm going official music video. I'm not going uncut. There needs to be cuts.
Wow.
Oh, wait a minute. So they did another video to promote that shitty Clumps movie.
Oh, and Big Show was in it.
That has to be it. Yeah. See, I knew it was it. Because I'm like, where is this motherfucker at?
Because I reckon like if they would do a video for somebody, be like, oh, let's do like a custom video. And it's like, who could we get? The Big Show.
The Big Show.
It's like the movie MacGruber with a bunch of wrestlers in it, and it's great. You ever see MacGruber?
Nah, it looks real bad.
It's good. No, it's good. It's good. It's a funny movie. Like, I promise it's a good movie.
No. And I'm live on the thing.
Good. Stay alive.
Who's he yelling at?
Kimberly, she's like shouting from the other room. That's my producer, Kimberly, asking me if my nose is bleeding.
Is it?
No.
All right. You sure?
I'm sure. Look at me. Does my nose look like it's bleeding?
Hold on, let me bring it up. No, you look all right.
There it is. I found it. Okay, I'm gonna send it to you, dog.
All right, please.
Damn. I knew. I was like, am I losing my mind?
Show me.
All right. How do I send something to you, Scott?
Put it in the group chat. Since Kenneth's not in there, we could use it more.
Is it on? Do you mean group chat on Facebook or on?
Yeah, Facebook.
All right,
Good morning, comrade.
All right.
Rip.
Why don't you use the Zoom chat?
I don't know how to do that.
Right.
Let's set it a little bit back, okay?
Maybe let's get like another one so we could just have the stupid links and shit.
You got it now. Go to 117.
Yeah, go to 117, Scott.
117, dog.
All right, now I hear it coming through yours.
Oh yeah.
I hear you playing it.
Real fast.
Yeah.
All right.
Dude, there's like wire work in this shit. This is a good video. This is a cool video.
Well, it is the Big Show.
He looks straight like
there you have it, folks.
It's straight like Dungeons of Doom, Big Show.
Yeah. This is the Big Show after the Undertaker left him in the desert or whatever, and he had to wear snakes as a tie. You ever hear that? You ever see that one?
That's such a dumb promo.
Yeah. The Big Show's just like, what the fuck are you talking about, Mark?
God damn. Undertaker lost his mind.
Digging holes and taking souls, brother.
That shit was garbage, dog.
Yeah, I was never a big like.
That was the worst.
Undertaker was always like my fourth favorite guy.
Oh,
right.
yuck.
So we are gonna record.
Should have been recording all this already.
Yeah.
Like,
let me bring us in.
Why we didn't do that?
I'll take DDP over the Undertaker any day.
Wow, that's not a bad thing. That's
a good thing.
And speaking of good morning, Tom. We're listening to no, this is not WHIV. This is a live release.
We're not doing that
on YouTube.com. You can find our website, goodmorningcomrade.com. Today on the show we have Jeff and Robert and Scott as well. And today is a very special day, as far as I'm concerned, at least. Something very special happened today. Somebody very tragically, pour one out for the biggest, piece of crap that ever existed, Rush Limbaugh. He who has passed tragically at the age of 70 after a life of smoking and hate-filled, basically being a terrible person. So, what's up, y'all?
Yay!
How y'all feeling today?
Fantastic. This is a great day. As a person of color in the United States, I am now safer because it's one less person to spit like hateful rhetoric that will get people to do violence against me. If you're a woman in this country, you are now a little bit safer. That piece of trash is off this earth. If you're a queer person, you're a brown person, it's a good day for you, and you're not going to convince me otherwise. I don't know if you want to get into this, but I've got a whole list of stuff that he said about women, black, brown, queer people. He celebrated the death of people who died of AIDS. He racist rhetoric against President Obama. Hated black people, but went to Dominican Republic to have sex with black women, and then be doped up on Viagra and Vicodin. So fuck him. And it's crabrave.exe. That's what's up.
I can see the hold on, I can see the African funeral guys just dancing in my head right now.
Yeah. No, just crab rave. Let the crabs eat his body. I feel the same way like that old woman who, like, have you ever there's like an old Scottish grandma who I'm sure she's gone by now, bless her soul, but they interviewed her when Margaret Thatcher died. And it was the most epic interview of all time. You keep talking, I can find that real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. Find it.
All right. It's so epic. She said, my thoughts about Rush Limbaugh are the same as the Scottish grandmother. Grandma. Let's see. So what else happened today while I'm finding this?
So there's a lot been going on because it is extremely cold and the entire state of Texas is frozen.
Jesus Christ.
I guess they had the windmills turned on too high, or I'm not exactly sure what Governor Abbott was
what a
saying.
Scam, dude.
But,
what a scam.
Basically, it's the only thing that can prevent the state of Texas from being frozen solid is oil and gas, which is surprising to hear from. This is a huge change from Republicans in general.
Well, I've got it pulled up. This Scottish grandma, bless her heart, is going to talk about Margaret Thatcher for 12 seconds. But the same thing applies to Rush Limbaugh. Same thing. Let me know you can hear it.
No, you got a link, bruh.
Oh, I got to drop a link for that?
Yes.
I was just going to play it. So I drop it in Zoom or what?
Yes.
I don't know things. I'm a boomer.
Already.
I'm a boomer, dude.
Clearly.
Where do you do that? In chat, right?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So start a new chat.
That's fine.
All right. I don't know. New chat, baby. I just started one. Here you go. I'm sending you a link.
Drop the link.
Yes, I thought I was. Trying to control V. There it is.
Wow.
Enter one recipient. You're not here. Where are you?
Bro, what the fuck are you doing?
I'm in chat. I'm in Zoomer. I'm in Zoomer chat. I don't know what you're talking about.
Just do it on Facebook.
All right, hold on. My bad. But yeah, so about that Texas thing. So yeah, so they're blaming windmills. Like Texas gets 10% of its power from windmills, and apparently that's enough to shut down everything. Because the windmills are operating. Apparently, the windmills never stopped operating. I've read this, right? And windmills operate in Antarctica and other cold places throughout the world. It's that Texas has it's for-profit electrical company, and they're not on the same grid because they want to duck federal regulation. And this for-profit company takes their earnings, takes their profit because they're for-profit, and then they don't reinvest it into the damn grid. So when an emergency happens, everybody's like literally, no pun intended, out in the cold, fucked over. People have died because of this. It's outrageous. And you want to talk about like, oh, America's the best country to live in. Fuck you. Our infrastructure shit. But anyway, there's your Scottish grandma.
All right, let's see Scottish grandma here. This is for old Rush Limbaugh.
It's Rushbo, Margaret. They're down there together.
Good, not a bit of good, not a bit. I put a stake through her heart and garlic around her neck to make sure she never come back.
That's a pretty horrible thing to say when her funeral's going on right now.
Too bad, too bad.
Too bad. Too bad. Too bad.
It really is kind of like amazing. So, like, I guess I can get into a little bit of history here. Like, you know, my dad used to listen to that stuff like all the time. Like, it was just absolute brain poison that is sort of like forced into people's heads, and you kind of like don't know what to do about it because it is brainwashing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Scott, where you at? How you feeling there, Chief?
Where's Scott?
You feeling as triumphant as Robert is?
I'm not even that triumphant. It's just that people I'm not gonna put up with like people trying to eulogize that fucker. Like I'm not even playing that. That's bullshit. We're not doing that. We're not doing that at all. If you want to just be like he did a radio show that was real shit. And like Fox News had it best. Scott, are you there? You have audio? I don't know. He might be the ultimate boomer. But and not have audio. But Fox News eulogized him and said he is responsible for the current state of the Republican Party. And I'm like, can you imagine that being your fucking like that's your eulogy? Like that's your claim to fame?
It's not wrong though, is the thing.
It's not.
It's actually accurate and true. That's just what the Republican Party is. And like I do want to give a couple quick shout outs, kind of like while we're still at least a little bit at the top. You did do an appearance on Above It All with our friend Andrea, Cyber Demon 531. How did that go?
It was really fun. I was called. Somebody in the chat said I was hot.
What?
Yeah, I was.
I was in chat. And I didn't say that.
They said that. And somebody was like, "The guest is so hot." And I was like, "Thank you for that."
Here first, folks.
So I will do more of the video out there. But yeah, I had fun. Andrea is a great guest. She answered some questions I had about, trans activism. We ranted about the hellscape that is the current state of the United States. It was a good time. I really like Andrea. She's I don't want to use the word edgy as a pejorative, but like I really appreciate somebody who is on my same level of like indignation about the state of things. So I can really appreciate that.
Go hit her a follow at Cyberdemon531.
Correct.
Check her out on Twitter at Boggs for Bernie, BAWDS for Bernie. Good follow, good times. Her show comes on at 9 Central. 9 Central. And I guess that could lead us to a really quick announcement too.
Go.
Starting next week, you might have seen we put a little promo out on social media. We are going to be starting to do a daily Monday through Friday show. It's going to be Good Morning Comrade Live. I will be anchoring that. Scott will hopefully, if he wakes up, be joining us. So Good Morning Comrade Live.
Sounds good. I have also started a daily show as a subsidiary of the Good Morning Comrade brand. I'm trying to stream to Twitch every day. I don't know how long that's going to last. I'm calling it Robert Rants at the News. It's just the stuff I can't wait till, Thursday and Tuesday to talk about. So, your boy still has like life and a 9 to 5. So I can't guarantee it's going to be every night, but I did an hour tonight. I'll be putting that up on YouTube. You can check us out on Twitch at Good Morning Comrade on YouTube, and I'll also be putting on our Twitter, Comrade Morning, so you can check me out. Just hyped up on caffeine, fresh from the gym, and ranting daily. So that's a thing that I'm doing
for the program. So let's get straight to the business of the day. So what were some of the, I guess, the greatest hits specifically of Rush Limbaugh that you might? He was the guy who came up with the term feminazi, which really kind of like made the idea of like feminism like extremely toxic in the mainstream. He did do a thing where he would just like read off a list of people who had died of AIDS. Like, this dude is a shock jock. This dude is an absolute carny. Like, he would read the list of people that had died of AIDS on a certain like week or something like that.
He was like, how can I take like the fun-loving shit of just making fun of disabled people or like mentally unstable people like Howard Stern? How can I take the fun out of that and then but actually just be really mean? Like, how can I just be mean as fuck?
Yeah, he is a mean motherfucker. He really was. So like, no tears, to be clear.
I mean, I've got a list of his greatest hits I brought up because I yelled about it on the Twitch show.
Send them to me.
Here's some of them right now. I mean, here's somebody said, you know who deserves a posthumous Medal of Honor? James Earl Ray.
What?
We miss you. Godspeed.
The guy who murdered Martin Luther King Jr.
Yeah.
A posthumous Medal of Honor according to that dude.
Awesome.
What else we got?
It's an awesome guy. Let's see here. We need segregated buses. This is Obama's America. He told a black woman who called him to tell him he's a piece of shit to take that bone out of your nose and call me back.
Oh, I do remember that one.
That was a thing. Remember when he got hired by ESPN for some reason? Reasons? So you've got a guy who hates black people who got paid by ESPN to talk about black people that he hate, like, because that's what he thought. Like, black people are only good to entertain him.
Yeah.
And they fly to the Dominican Republic and have cheap sex with. Just outrageousness. Blacks are 12% of the population. Who the hell cares?
Yeah.
That's other good stuff. You're a foreigner, shut your mouth or you get out. Let the unskilled jobs that absolutely take no knowledge whatsoever to do. Let stupid and unskilled Mexicans do the work. Just all kinds of fun shit, man.
Incredible stuff. Like the gall and temerity of that kind of thing is really like extremely shocking.
And I'm not shocked by him because people like that, like I feel like people like that exist. I've run into them IRL. It's not like I'm clutching my pearls and like, oh, the fat man said a bad thing. I'm the people that are clutching what I am raving on right now, what I'm high on is the people clutching their pearls at me when I say on Twitter, oh, he can rest in piss. I don't give a fuck. Tell me where he's buried so I can just take my trash there weekly and just dump it on top of there.
Well, and
people are like, oh, how dare you? What about unity? What about togetherness? I can't unify with people like that. How am I supposed to unify with somebody that doesn't look at me, doesn't like respect my humanity and look at me as a human being? How do I do that?
Like a specific thing that he, like we just mentioned this earlier, he would go like literally read off a list of people who had died of AIDS and be like, and having like horns and like, you know, like party poppers going off on in the background. Like, this is an extremely hateful person who like literally incited damage and created in a lot of ways an entire fucking reactionary political movement that we have to deal with the consequences of till this day. You know, that's the reality of what's going on right now. And it's not that people are like inherently like that kind of hateful or anything. No, this is something like this is behavior from a large group of people that is encouraged.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the clip of him from ESPN. This is what got him fired from Donovan McNabb, from ESPN.
It's not even like, before you like preface it, I will just go ahead and like give it away. It's not even like, it's just it's like boringly offensive. It's not even anywhere in the greatest hits of like the worst things he's ever done or said. But it's like, why did you have that job in the first place? What the fuck did he know anything about about the foosball? I don't understand. Go ahead. That's what we were living at back then.
Well,
in the Clinton years,
the highest
Bush
profile
years.
thing that happened to him, for sure.
Oh.
I've listened to all you guys actually, and I think the sum total of what you're all saying is that Donovan McNabb is regressing. He's going backwards. And I'm sorry to say this, I don't think he's been that good from the get-go. I think what we've had here is this is
a perennial Pro Bowl quarterback. When he was playing, he made one Super Bowl, he didn't win it, but he was an excellent sort of top level quarterback in the league for many years.
Social.
Yeah, very much so.
1 second. I'm the boomer now.
Nah, that's good. I just don't understand. Like, that was the world that we're living in, where we just like, it would be the equivalent now of, I don't know. I'm trying to think of something like if like ESPN was like the sports, there was no Fox Sports back then. There was nothing. I'm trying to think. It would be the equivalent now if like CNN gave Milo Yiannopoulos like a like commentary section.
Yeah.
He just like he just had like a column that he just wrote for them and just went on TV and it was just like, all black people are terrible except the black men that I have sex with, and I only like them because like that's his deal. Like it's just so peculiar that he was even in like such an elevated spot in our society.
Yeah. Well, let's keep it going.
I don't think he's been that good from the get-go. I think what we've had here is a little social concern in the NFL. I think the media has been
social
very
concern in
desirous
the
that a
NFL.
black quarterback do well. We're interested in black coaches and black quarterbacks doing well. I think there is a little hope invested
Look
in
at Tom
McNabb,
Jackson's
and
face.
he got a lot of
Yeah,
credit
he's pretty pissed off.
to this team that he really didn't deserve. The
But somebody,
defense,
Rush,
defense carried this team.
But Rush, somebody went to those championship games.
He went to like 4 championships in a row.
Somebody made those plays that I saw running down the field, doing it with his legs, doing it with his arm. He has been a very effective quarterback for this football team over the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, but
different than what we see right now. And they didn't have any more talent then.
Oh, yeah,
than
they did
have
on
now.
defense. On defense, they did.
On defense, they did. I'm talking about the offensive side of the ball.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. I think he got a lot of credit for the defensive side of the ball winning games for this team.
But I'll tell you what, I'll say it even more strongly, Tom. When they're winning, nobody makes more plays
than Donovan McNabb.
And with his arm than Donovan McNabb. Yeah. That guy is really one of the best in the league at making.
I remember watching this live.
Making
Yeah,
plays is not
it is the craziest thing.
I'm so old.
So at some point, I think Floyd Detmer looks like a better option because he'll go in there, drop back, and throw the ball correctly.
Isn't it odd that last year with the broken leg, I know it was Arizona, but the one game he was in the pie, he looked great.
Yeah, with like, because like if they just blew by it, and then the next week they fired him, ESPN did, and everybody was just like, "Wow, we're sorry we let a racist guy. We hired a racist guy to like, and we're surprised that he said something racist." Why did you even have that job?
That's the craziest part about the whole thing, though, is that like even in that conversation, like as it was happening, like Tom Jackson and Michael Irvin like looked annoyed, but they didn't get like mad in the middle of it, like which like when you I guess
why
you don't really think about it,
because that's what black people deal with, my dude.
I mean,
we don't get offended. Like we're used to that. Like you're conditioned to hear that kind of bullshit. So it like doesn't even like without somebody just straight up calling you the N-word, like it doesn't really register. It takes a minute. It's like a kidney punch. Mm-hmm. Like it takes like a while. Like you'll be thinking about it later that day. You'll be like, wait a minute, that shit was racist as fuck. But right in the moment, like it doesn't hit you. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because you want to talk about let's talk about foosball. Let's talk about sports ball for a minute. Yeah, is that if you want to talk about Donovan McNabb and the Eagles, my Buccaneers like ended him. Like my Buccaneers put an ass whooping on the Philadelphia Eagles that they never recovered from in the NFC Championship game in 2002. Now, with that said, you want to talk about somebody? Tom Brady. Tom Brady's getting like the praise of all praise for winning the Super Bowl with the Buccaneers, which they did put up 30-something points on offense. But what you're not hearing about is like their defense kept Kansas City out of the end zone. They scored 9 points. They kicked 3 field goals. So if you want to have that conversation about somebody about like being carried, let's talk about the Buccaneers defense carrying Tom Brady to another Super Bowl at the age of 40. But nobody wants to talk about that because he's the GOAT. I'm telling you, that's the kind of bullshit it's talking about. So Rush was quick back in the day to talk about a defense carrying a black quarterback. But here, even in 2020, nobody talks about the Buccaneers carrying this old dude across the finish line, which they did.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought that was like one of the like less.
Don't anyway my sports ball takes. I'm trying to get a job on ESPN, bro.
Oh, okay.
I don't know anything about sports either. If Rush got a job, I can get a job. I can work for Disney. I can collect Disney. I promise you, Disney. I promise you, I will not say anything anti-Semitic. I will say everybody should wear their mask. If you get Dave Favreau to like tell me, hey, Rob, you got to chill with this leftist stuff. I guarantee you, when that Disney dump truck backs up, when Scrooge McDuck with his padunkadunk backs that truck up to my front door and dumps the Disney dollars off, I guarantee you I will chill. I will not Gina Carano. Put me on ESPN. Let's go.
Do it. The gauntlet has been laid out. I mean, I think that the ball is in your court, ESPN. You should definitely bring Robert in.
I don't know anything about anything either. Just like Rush did. That's the thing. Like, how unqualified are you? You sitting up there. That's the white mediocrity. I mean, not mediocre, but like, yeah. The idea that you got all these dudes who are like half TBI, their brains got bashed in. They know more about how to play that damn game than anything you'll ever know. And you're gonna bring in Rush Limbaugh to talk to them about the shit that they have lived, eat, and slept and bled for since they could walk. You're gonna have and he gonna question them? Okay.
Yeah.
That's how it works in America. That's how it works. You get a shitty platform. You're a white guy with a shitty platform. It's just like all doors just open for you.
Yeah. And speaking of, like you were saying, mediocre white people, the former president of the United States, Donald Trump, decided that he did something of a eulogy on Fox News about Rush Limbaugh as well. Shall we go to the audio tape?
I guess so. I haven't heard it. It's probably going to be hella dumb.
Let's see here. It's definitely hella dumb.
Right. I haven't heard anything from Trump, and
this is the first
last time I heard from Trump.
So here's the clip from Fox News.
Are about to be joined, I understand, by the president, the former president of the United States, who gave the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2020 at the State of the Union address to Rush Limbaugh. President Trump, are you with me?
I am, and it was a great honor to do so. When we gave the Medal of Freedom, it was something special. It was an incredible night.
That's right. The Donald Trump gave, like 2 years ago or something like that, gave Rush Limbaugh
I remember that
Medal of Freedom for being a racist radio guy.
Wild.
What a meaningful medal. I mean, medals are dumb and bullshit anyway, but like that's like the perfect encapsulation. Like that, I can think of no better medal that somebody deserved more than that. Honestly, like that's what medals mean.
Mm-hmm. It's wild. It's wilding, bro. Go on with the Trump.
It was a great honor to do so. When we gave the Medal of Freedom, it was something special. It was an incredible night. We gave it during the State of the Union address, and it was especially half the room. Half the room went crazy, and the other half of the room, they knew he should get it. But it was special, and he was special.
Mr. President,
You know,
thank you
I'm
for joining.
I also love that like Trump makes the entire thing about like, oh yes, it's very sad that he died. Remember the time that I gave him a medal? He's making it fun of himself, of course. Like it's just like total narcissist brain stuff.
It's just who fills that spot now? Because I feel like it's hard. I don't feel like the one thing people have been saying that's accurate. It's like there'll never be another Rush Limbaugh. Like there won't. I don't think there will be another one, and it's it's an obvious good thing. I think because it's so easy, like for somebody to be in the public space and then to just like to be quote unquote like you can react to anybody now. Like so, if Rush Limbaugh was in his prime today, he'd be getting shit on by like people on YouTube. And I don't think he'd be as big as he was. Because think about it, every fascist, chud, conservative, neocon, whatever you want to call them, that's like tried to fill that space. Like they have like this, it's like GameStop stock. It's like they have this rise, and then just collectively like the Death Star of like central like libs and then leftists like just kind of unite and they just all fire their guns on them and then they're gone.
Yeah, we'll see.
You know what I'm saying? Like nobody can like rise like that anymore.
I don't know.
Who would be the Rush Limbaugh of today?
Tucker Carlson's a thing. Sean Hannity's a thing. It's not the same level because of the like state of media is in a different place.
Nah, but they have to play little games though.
And, like Trump himself is like there, and then they have these things. They have like OAN, and they have Newsmax, and they have these other like extremely fringe places where.
But there's the difference though. Like a Tucker Carlson has to play little games of like, oh, I just care about populism, and he can't just come out and say I hate black people. Like if he was to do that, like he'd be just nuked. If he was to say half the stuff that Rush said, he'd be nuked.
I think it's more a question of style rather than substance more than anything. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we're saying the same thing. That's what I'm saying. They have to change up the game.
I think that the game has already changed. It's already been like passed by, if that makes any kind of sense. Anyway, let's keep this going.
Sure.
But it was special, and he was special.
It was special because I gave him
for joining us. When was the last time you spoke with Rush
Limbaugh? 3 or 4 days ago. I'd call him just to find out. You know, his fight was very, very courageous, and he was very, very sick. And
he died of lung cancer, smoking like a pack of cigars every day.
Yeah, he was puffing like 2.
You wouldn't know it. And he is married to an incredible woman, Catherine, who really, every time I spoke to him, he would tell me how great she was. She took such great care. He was very brave. I mean, he, in theory, could have been gone 4 months ago.
That image. Sorry for the people that are not watching, but to describe it, Melania Trump is putting the medal around Rush Limbaugh's neck. And like she looks like she doesn't want to touch this like sweaty hog or lizard or some kind of animal. She's got this look of utter disdain on her face. It's incredible.
Ugh.
Great care. He was very brave. I mean, he, in theory, could have been gone 4 months ago. Really, he was fighting till the very end. He was a fighter.
While
and just a great gentleman.
While you were in the White House, how did you view how he either carried on your message or chose to agree or disagree with the policies you had as commander-in-chief?
Now, real quick, before he answers that question, he's asking the question like, how did you respond to Rush Limbaugh or whatever? When if you don't have a Rush Limbaugh, you don't have a Trump. Like the entire groundwork had been laid for fucking decades by this guy, right? But by creating this entire like audience and this entire like mindset of basically like racism as he's a modern I don't know, he's like a modern like David Duke almost, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah. He was the David Dukes of the world like laid the groundwork for him, which made it like a comfortable environment where he could actually get to think that he had advertisers. Like to think that like people would pay shamelessly to get their business, you know, it was cool to do. It's just, it wasn't that long ago, like during the first and second Obama administrations, where I was like hate listening to Rush Limbaugh every day. So that wasn't that long ago. And it feels like a different world now. Again, going back to my point, it's like, I don't know if it's just like terrestrial radio being dead, but it just feels like nobody can get away with like what he got away with. And I don't mean that I mean that means like the world is a better place.
Yeah. Almost like a George Wallace. You know what I mean? Like he ran for president as like an actual Southern Democrat, like white supremacist in like
who
60s.
Yeah, keep going. I'm actually curious about like who his advertisers were. Let's see, Rush Limbaugh show.
Well, first of all, you know, you just had Sean Hannity, who's incredible. And Sean would say there is nobody like Rush. Sean was the first to say that I used to say, well, what do you think someday? And he'd say he's irreplaceable.
And when Sean Hannity says that he means that Rush Limbaugh is irreplaceable, he means literally no one in the world could be a better show to lead into his show.
Right.
Like that, you cannot replace that lead-in that he got on the radio, because that was like where all the listeners were. And Sean Hannity is like a second rate. Like he tries to do all the racist stuff. He's just way dumber and not as good at it.
So, what was her name? Sandra Fluke? Was that it?
Yeah.
So I just pulled up an old Business Insider, and this was the fallout in 2012 when he called Sandra Fluke a slut and a prostitute for wanting her health insurance to cover contraception.
Just for people's memory, to refresh the memory of the audience, who was Sandra Fluke?
She was a woman. I can't remember honestly, I can't remember the particulars, but she went to Congress and talked on the floor because her she was a Georgetown University student, and she wanted like health insurance to cover contraception. And there was like a big fight about that. Like Georgetown shouldn't have to pay for that, which she pays her tuition and they include health insurance, and contraception is part of health. So like when I go, you know, if I was, you know, when I bought condoms back in the day, I would buy them at the drugstore because that's where you buy the things for the health. And so Rush Limbaugh was very upset about this and called her a slut and a prostitute on air. And let's see. So these were some of the companies, just a couple.
Like in the run up to that like election, and for a little while, like these, like the questions of abortion like became the like really hot issues.
Right. So like these were some of the companies that advertised back in at least 2012 on the show. Pro Flowers, Quicken Loans, Sleep Number Beds, LegalZoom. Let's see. I'm trying to read out some of the big ones. Some of these are like trashy. AOL. Remember AOL was a thing? God damn, we are old.
Well,
Allstate did, but just like these were like some of these companies are like big companies, and they just were like, yeah, we'll give him money to like say this bullshit because people listen to him and hopefully will buy our products. It seems like I almost like when I think about it, I have a hard time connecting with it. It feels like a completely different world.
Work that you have done for charity.
Oh, here's what he's talking about.
I am proud to announce tonight that you will be receiving our country's highest civilian honor, the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
It's like reality TV. Like looking at the look on his face.
Word.
You know, Rush was very sick at the time. He was at a hospital, and it was, as he told me, it was the greatest honor of his life. And everybody in the room You're
So this
talking
is
about the
basically an entire
Republicans and the
segment about
Democrats. Half of that
hey,
group went
Donald
crazy.
Trump,
You
come talk
remember the
about
evening well, I'm sure.
Rush
It was a very
Limbaugh,
unique
and he's just going on
Yeah.
for
in our
like
country's
long
history, in a
periods of
sense,
time about
because of
how
who
I
Rush
gave
is.
him a
But
medal.
I would love to know. Like, I don't watch that media, but like, besides the Tucker Carlsons and the Donald Trumps of the world, I would love to know like who's like the wildest person that they're gonna get to talk about like Rush Limbaugh tonight. Like, I would love to know like who's the guy that's just like really you. But I don't know. Like, why would you want to be associated with anything? It just feels like such a like. It doesn't feel like that long ago. It feels like something we're reading about in a history book about a crazy, drug-addicted, sex addict man who was a racist, homophobe, and misogynist. Not somebody who existed in the same time that like we walk the earth.
Yep, and that's it. I mean, that's basically all there is to it. It's absolutely insanity. I mean, like again, like this is just the thing that we have to fight. I think people talking about how like we should be like upset or like mad about like what he's saying. Yeah, sure, absolutely. But like the thing is that you got to beat that idea, and I don't know, that seems to be the priority to me.
Sure, I'm not upset. I'm not upset about anything he ever said. I'm upset that people are going to tell me after all the shit that he's made the world an objectively worse place that I'm supposed to feel some kind of sadness because we both are human beings.
Yeah.
Well, don't be shitty in life and maybe you won't get talked about.
Yeah. And like again, the dude claimed to be pro-life, and what did he go and do?
He went and died. It's bullshit.
Incredible.
So
anyway, that's kind of all I got in me tonight. I just
same here. I've been talking for the last feels like 3 hours straight.
Yeah. Well, that can be a little harrowing talking about this kind of thing. We're gonna have so like we were saying earlier, we have our daily show coming out on YouTube, bit.ly/Good Morning Comrade. Our Facebook, our YouTube page. You can also check us out at Twitch.tv /Good Morning Comrade Radio. You can check me out on Twitter at Eminem Prof, Robert at Comrade Morning. So
well, if you've got
that's going to be
student loan debt,
a wrap for us. Anything you want to say on the way out?
No, just if you could give us a follow on Twitter, that really helps us out. Give us a like and a subscribe on YouTube. That helps us out, and a follow on Twitch. We love you guys so much. Right. Also, if you're really feeling froggy, you could chip into our Patreon /Good Morning Comrade, so we can pay the hosting costs. Really appreciate it.
All right, everybody. Love you. Bye.
Take care.
All right, let me turn the stream off. Yeah, it's gonna.